Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to an episode of the Athletics franchise here on MLB The Show 24, where today the 20-40 Athletics will finish up what has been a dreaded month of May at home against the 31-28 Cincinnati Reds. But before we jump into this game, we do have one roster move to make. Now, we are not a very good team, and last episode we sent down Brent Rooker to AAA, and at 32 years old, his future with the team is, not really long-term. So we're going to go ahead and trade Brent Rooker while we still can, considering he is a free agent at the end of the season. One of the teams interested in Rooker is the Dodgers, so we get a deal done with Los Angeles, sending Rooker to LA for prospect Ken Pitts, a relief pitcher. Well, I think it's a pretty good get for us considering the value that Rooker has. He's 32 years old. Yes, he still has a lot of pop, which the Dodgers will definitely take advantage of, but wasn't hit for a high average for us. And Ken Pitts is a reliever at 18 years old. He's only a 54 overall, but he does have B potential. So the sky is there for the left right-hander, who also is the 25th best prospect in all of baseball. So not a bad get for Brent Rooker. But now it's time to jump into Sutter Health Park for this 3-game homestand against the Cincinnati Reds, who sit 31-28 on the season, who, in my opinion, have been probably the most disappointing team in baseball for the past year and a half. They've been very aggressive in their moves, and it hasn't paid off just yet. On the mound for the A's will be Moneyball, who has not had a good season thus far as our ace. Eli De La Cruz, the All-Star from last year, will step into the batter's box, and we are underway here as he starts off the ball game, swinging and missing on a high fastball. That'll bring up Pete Crow Armstrong up next, and he will look at a slider for strike 3, so the first 2 down for Cincinnati, and that'll bring up one of the biggest gets from last all season, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in his second season here with the Cincinnati Reds, still playing great baseball. He gets a curveball up high, and he misses this one as it's flied out to right center, as Abel catches a break to end the top of the first. On the mound for the Reds will be Andrew Abbott, making his 12th starts. Like Abel, hasn't played that good this season, but he's been getting some run support. So he has a 5-3 record. Zach Geloff will step in to lead off for the A's, and he will take the left-hander over to third base, and that'll be an easy ground out to begin this game. We'll take a look at this Athletics lineup. We'll see Geloff followed by Robbie Martin playing shortstop today. Noda, the first baseman. Tyler Soderstrom behind the plate. Nick Allen getting the start at third today in place of Jacob Wilson. Pedro Pineda in center. Clark Elliott in right. Daniel Susac getting the nod at DH. And Elliot Ramos out in left. Here is Robbie Martin with an 0-2, and he perfectly times this one. It's hit into the gap. Good job by Martin to stay down on the changeup with 0-2, and it's going to roll to the fence. And he's actually going to try to take 3. Martin getting aggressive, and he slides in safely. I like the call. We've had a hard time scoring runs recently. Got to get aggressive on the base paths. After his second triple this season, that'll bring up Ryan Noda, who'll chop it up over to short, and Noda will accomplish his mission because the A's are on the board first, 1-0. 2 down now for the 2-time All-Star Tyler Soderstrom, who's not having a good season. He gets a curveball, hits it well to left. This one at the track, at the wall, but it's caught by Rosarena. So the A's take a 1-0 lead. We'll go top 2 down. Here's Bo Bichette, the other big get for the Reds. In the same offseason, they got Vladimir Guerrero Jr., essentially purging the Toronto Blue Jays. As Bo Bichette hits this one well to center field, but Pedro Pineda will make the grab. How about their big get this offseason? Randy Arozarena, the former Ray, signed a 4-year, $57.2 million contract in the offseason. Like I said, the Reds have been very aggressive in free agency. It's just not really accounted to a good record just yet, as he takes a 2-2 slider in the right, and that one is caught by Clark Elliott. 2 down now for the former Padre Jesus Sanchez, who swings and misses on the inside fastball. A nice 1-2-3 for Moneyball, 6 up, 6 down. We'll go bottom 4 now. Here's Noda starting off for the A's. Their only RBI hitter today. And he'll draw the second walk off of Abbott today, as here's Tyler Soderstrom stepping in. You saw him fly out back in the first, average down to 2.02 on the season. 3-1 pitch to the catcher, and he waits on a curve, and he's going to take advantage. This one splitting the gap, and Noda will be on third, rounding his way home, and that's going to be an RBI double for Tyler Soderstrom, as it's now 2-0 Athletics. Still nobody down as well on Andrew Abbott, as that'll bring up Nick Allen, who's a very good clutch hitter, playing third base today, but he swings through a high fastball. Good pitch on the corner by Andrew Abbott. That'll bring up Pedro Pineda, only hitting 128 this season. Not been a good start for the rookie. And he strikes out here on a nasty curveball that catches the bottom of the zone. So a good bounce back from Abbott to strike out the next two batters. That'll bring up Clark Elliott, who also struck out back in the second. This time he'll chop this one up the middle. Tough play for Bichette, and he will not get Elliott. So runners now on the corners here. 2 down. The inning stays alive. Big spot for Daniel Susac with an 0-1. Gets a high fastball. Tries to poke it into right field, but it will be caught. We do get one in the fourth. It's now 2-0. We'll go top 6 now. Here's Matt McLean at the dish for the Reds, the second baseman that is, as he flies out to center field. Up next will be the third baseman, Cam Collier. He faces a 1-2, and he swings and misses on the high fastball. Good pitch by Abel. He's been dealing today. That's his 7th K of the day, and then I'll bring up the catcher, Amibris Valoria. 0-1 to him, and he pops this one up into foul territory. Elliott, will he have enough space? And he will. And that's 6 perfect innings from Mick Abel. Do we have history watch today? Huascar Ynoa will come in relief for the Reds, making his 23rd appearance already of the season. He's been good for Cincinnati. His first batter is Tyler Soderstrom, who rips a fastball into center, but it's hit right at Sanchez. Nick Allen out next with a 2-2, and he swings and misses again on the high fastball. Allen cannot hit that pitch today, it seems. So quickly 2 down for Pedro Pineda. Full count pitch, and he golfs a fastball, and this one will be flown out into right field. A 1-2-3 inning for Ynoa. Let's go into the 7th. Perfect game still intact for Mick Abel, but he walks Ely De La Cruz. So the perfect game is no more. However, the no-hitter is still alive, and that'll bring up PCA, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Ely De La Cruz is very fast on first base. Abel where? De La Cruz will try to take second, and he will. So runner is in scoring position. Remember, the A's only have a 2-run lead, so you got to be careful here. They're going to let Abel try to get the no-hitter as he strikes out PCA on the fastball in the outside portion of the plate. That'll bring up Vladimir Guerrero Jr., though. Probably the most dangerous hitter away from Great American Ballpark, hitting .344 on the season. Big spot here for Abel. Can he get through Vladdy Jr.? He grounds it up the middle. This is going to be a tough play for Robbie Martin, but he makes the play. Then the no-hitter stays alive. However, De La Cruz is on third base. That'll bring up Bo Bichette. First pitch to the shortstop, and he rips it into the left field corner, and that will do it for the no-hitter. It is dead. It's an RBI double for the 2024 AL batting champ, and it's 2-1 Athletics. And with that pitch, that'll do it for Mick Abel. 6 2/3 innings. A great performance for him, as we'll bring in Aber Uribe to try to strand the runner on second base. We just need one more out from Uribe. We'll start off against Randy Arozarena, who launches this one to left. It's got a hot fire behind it, and it's going to be out of here. A 2-run homer for Randy Arozarena, and just like that, the Reds have the lead. 2 batters ago, the Reds are being no-hit. Now they lead 3-2 as Uribe comes in and blows what was a great game from Abel. The Reds lead 3-2. Jesus Sanchez up next will be plunked on the back of his leg, and Uribe struggling to get one out. Matt McLean, pitch in the dirt, walks him, and Uribe, after the 3 batters he faces, he will be pulled in favor of Kyle Muller. Uribe's stuff not with them today. He's not confident at all. So we're going to go to the lefty to try to get the final out against Cam Collier, and he strikes out on the fastball as Muller gets the job done. But just like that, the A's are now behind. They've been leading the whole game. So in the 7th, here's Clark Elliott to begin, and he flies out to left. How about Daniel Susac in the 8-hole today? 2-2 to him, and he gets a slider, and he's going to poke it into the right center gap. Good hit from the designated hitter. He's on first base. Going to bring up Elliot Ramos up next, facing a righty now, which he has not been very good against this season. It's mostly hit against lefties. But he's got Ynoa, and in the first pitch from Ynoa, he jumps on a fastball, perfectly times it to left center, and this one's going to hit off of the wall. Susac on his horse will round third, and he's going to tie the game with an RBI double. A huge hit from Elliot Ramos to bring us back to 3 apiece. Top of the lineup due up next. Also only 1 out. Geloff, though, can't connect on the high fastball. Has been money with that pitch today. 2 down now for Robbie Martin, who turns on the high fastball, but he just flies out the left. But the A's tie it back up at 3 apiece. So we'll go into the 9th inning now. Ryan Thompson in relief for the Athletics, making his 14th appearance of the season. He'll start off against Randy Arozarena, who walks on the fastball outside. I'll bring up next Jesus Sanchez, who we just saw get hit by a pitch back in the 7th. And with an 0-1, he's going to get hit again. I think he went around, but they're saying he didn't. Interesting call there. Puts 2 on now, and then he walks Matt McLain. So Thompson loads the bases for Cincinnati. Terrible position to be in as this Cam Collier up next, but he rips it right to Geloff. Good hands from Zach, gets the first out. And now you just need a double play. Mevis Valoria, though, will lay a suicide squeeze down, and it will work, and the Reds take the lead. Small ball, who says it's dead? Cincinnati executes to perfection. It's now 4-3. So that'll bring up De La Cruz with a free base. And the A's aren't even going to try to pitch to him. They'll walk him to first. He does load the bases for Pete Crow Armstrong. Hits this one well into left. Ramos over, and he makes the snag. The Reds now up by a run as we go into the 9th inning. They're going to bring in their closer, the lefty Tim Meza. Perfect on the season, 8 for 8. He's going to try to make it 9 for 9 here. Has to do it against the 8-9-1 hitters. Daniel Susak up first. Chopper over to second is past the diving glove of Matt McLain. And again, the tying run on base. Second hit of the day for Daniel Susak as it brings up Elliot Ramos, who was the big hitter in his last at-bat. This time does get a lefty. And he chops this one up over to short, though. Over to second, over to first. That's a 6-4-3 double play. Crucial 2 outs there for the Reds. And now the game comes down to Zach Geloff. 2-2 pitch to the second baseman, and he fishes at a sinker low, and that will do it. The Reds will win Game 1 of this 3-game series by a final score of 4-3. Just tough how the tables turned, man. We had the Reds on the ropes for about 6.5 innings, and then 1 inning is all it took to put the Reds out in front. They only had 2 hits in this game, by the way, despite having 4 runs. We just gave up too many free base runners for them. 6 walks by our pitching staff. We are going to make one roster move after this game. We're going to send down Kyle Muller. I wanted to send down Uribe, but he's out of options, and I'm afraid he would get claimed. So Muller will be the culprit. He's got to pass through waivers. I think he will. We're going to get some help for the offense, bringing Jordan Diaz back up from AAA, as he has a pretty solid bat. And then we go into the second game. We win 4-3. As Clark Elliott homers for the first time in his career. So he's finally broken that milestone. Good for him as Blackburn pitches pretty good and the bullpen gets the job done. Your Tuesday game of the week is obviously Yankees-Red Sox. We got to highlight this one as the Yankees continue to be the best team in the AL East. They beat Boston at 7-1 at Fenway Park. And then we lose game 3, 13-3 on just what was an overall bad performance by our pitching staff. Bo Bichette went deep twice almost, and every pitcher he pitched, minus Zach Jackson, gave up a run. That'll bring us into the second half of this episode. We'll travel to Seattle to face the Mariners. But we will make one more roster move before that game. Richie Veach will go back down to AAA as he continues to bounce back between the 2 levels. And we're going to call up Sammy Siani to get the start in left field today. He's a lefty. He hits pretty good power, and now that we traded Rooker, we're kind of missing that. So he will join the big league club as we head now to Seattle to face the 35-27 Seattle Mariners at T-Mobile Park. We did face the Mariners last month, and we got swept by them in 3 games, and we did not look good in that stretch. They outscored us 13-1, so we're hoping that doesn't happen again here on the road. As you can see, the Mariners rocking their City Connects, and they'll throw the righty Bryce Miller on the mound. We did make a start in that series against us. He went 8 innings, didn't allow a run, and struck out 7. So trying to get some revenge against Bryce Miller. Zach Geloff leads off for the A's, and he can't check his swing on a slider low. That'll start the day with a K. Up next will be a Robbie Martin, 0-2, and he'll also strike out. This one a lot more emphatic, as it's a swing and a miss on the slider. Quickly 2 down now for Ryan Noda. First pitch to the first baseman. He'll turn on a fastball into right, and it will be caught. Nice glove out there by Schwarber. On the mound for the A's will be the lefty Ken Waldichuk, making his 13th start. He's been pretty consistent for this team the past couple of seasons, and the A's have a lot of faith in him. He'll start off against the former Cub, Noelvi Marte, and with a 2-2, he'll swing and miss on an inside fastball, and Waldichuk will also start his day with a K. Ahmed Rosario now up next, full count. He draws a walk, fastball misses inside. We have the first base runner of the day. That'll bring up Julio Rodriguez, and with a 1-0, J-Rod rips this one to the left, but it's right at Siani, who's also a good defender. That'll be the second out. We'll take a look at this Mariners lineup, who've really started to put it together this year. Up next, we'll see it Kyle Schwarber, followed by Luke Raley. Harry Ford, the catcher, one of the top prospects in the organization for quite some time, finally up at the major league level. Jorge Polanco, the designated hitter spot. Tyler Lockyer at third base, and Bobby Dahlbeck rounding it out at first. Here is Schwarber with a full count pitch, and he'll miss a fastball as he flies out into right field, and both teams scoreless through one frame. We'll go into the top of the fourth now, back at the top of the A's lineup with Zach Geloff. He faces a full count pitch, and this time will draw a walk. Good eye to lay off the inside fastball. First walk of the day for Miller will bring up Robbie Martin, who we saw swing and miss back in the first inning. He inherits Geloff on at first base. Now with a first pitch to Martin. He gets an inside fastball. This one cuts too much across the plate, though, and he's able to swing it inside out. And the A's have the first two on here in the fourth. Ryan Noda now up next, 2-2 to the lefty. And he'll perfectly launch this one into left center field. No doubt about it. It's over, well, actually off of the scoreboard out there. A 3-run shot for Ryan Noda, and with an emphatic statement, this game is no longer tied. Fourth home run of the season for the lefty, and the A's jump out now in front, 3-0. Still with nobody out in the frame, Tyler Soderstrom out next as he has a full count and swings through a slurve on Bryce Miller. Fifth K of the day for the righty as it'll bring up Jacob Wilson, who turns on a slider himself. He's going to hit this well into left, and it's going to hit off of the wall. And Jacob Wilson, getting the start at third base today, will walk into second base with his 10th double of the season. So the A's might not be done. That'll bring up Clark Elliott, who gets a fastball right down the middle. Hits it into center field just a couple days removed from his first ever homer, and he comes inches shy from getting his second. However, Wilson will tag and go to third. He's now with 2 away. Need a base hit to drive him home. The 7-hole today, playing center, will be Elliot Ramos with an 0-1, and Ramos will single up the middle for a base hit and an RBI. And Ramos' bat's starting to turn the corner. It's another clutch hit for him. It's now 4-0 A's. Susak again getting started at DH today. Sits on a slider down the middle, but is hit right at Rodriguez's center. The A's put up 4 here in the fourth. As now Wolochuk's able to play with a lead. Rodriguez will lead off the bottom half of the inning as he hits it over to Martin, who gives it a good effort. But you're not going to throw out J-Rod if you got to knock the ball with your body. So he takes first base, and bring up Kyle Schwarber with a 2-2, and Schwarber will launch this one to right. That is no doubt a home run. A bomb into the second level. As soon as I saw Wolochuk hang that curve, I knew it was GG as the 2022 NL home run leader hits his 7th as it goes 448 to right. And just like that, the Mariners have cut this to a 2-run deficit. It's now 4-2 A's. Going to the top of the fifth now, 1 on, 1 away for Robbie Martin, who singled in his last at bat, and will do the same thing here as Miller having a tough 5th inning. And with the Mariners already down by 2, they're going to go ahead and pull them. Nestor Cortez will come in relief, the former White Sox acquired in spring training, and a pretty hefty deal that sent Cole Young and Alan Carpenter back to the south side. Carpenter's the 17th best prospect in baseball, so the Mariners paid a lot for Cortez, and he starts off the evening by striking out Noda on the slider running away. 2 down, trying to get out of this jam, but he walks Soderstrom, so the bases are loaded. A big spot here for Jacob Wilson. He faces the full count, 2 down, runners are going, he lays off a cutter, a beautiful eye to take ball 4, and Ciani will cross home plate. It's now 5-2, as Elliott up next will ground this one to first. It's a foot race to the bag, but Cortez will win it. The A's will get a run back, they now lead by 3. We'll go into the 6th inning now. Mason Miller in relief as Wolochuk in line for the win if the bullpen can hang on today. He'll start off against Ahmed Rosario with a 2-2 when he gets some on the inside fastball. Nice strikeout pitch from Miller. That'll bring up Julio Rodriguez, who's having a pretty solid season. And he's got a righty on the mound now, which is where he's been excellent thus far this season as the 2022 AL Rookie of the Year faces a 1-2 and he gets a cutter on the hands. And he'll pop this one up for Noda, who will make the second out of the inning. Kyle Schwarber up next, who homered in his last at-bat with an 0-2, and it's a 2-hopper over to Geloff. He'll be thrown out before he's halfway down the base path. Go into the next half inning, Taylor Saucedo, the lefty in relief for the Mariners, with a 4.05 ERA. He'll start off against Robbie Martin, and he walks him with a curveball not even close to the zone. Third time on base for Martin brings up Noda, who hit a 3-run bomb earlier, but he can't lay off the slider running away again. Nice pitch there by Saucedo. 1 down now for Soderstrom. He gets a slider down the middle, but a good diving stop by Dahlbeck, and he's able to turn to it in the top of the 7th. Seventh inning stretch time will turn into the 8th as Ty Adcock will come in relief for the Mariners, as he is the 4th pitcher of the day for the M's. Jacob Wilson up first with the 2-2, and a nice slider on the corner gets him swinging. Both bullpens settling in, doing a pretty solid job here as Clark Elliott steps into the batter's box. Hitless on the day, but the right fielder faces a full count, but he can't hit the slider himself, and that slider proving deadly for Ty Adcock, striking out back-to-back batters. Up to Ramos, who actually connects on the slider, but he just flies it out into right field. We'll go into the bottom of the 8th. The A's up by 3, so they'll send Joe Barlow out to set up the inning, and Barlow's putting up all-star caliber numbers. A less than a 1 ERA through 22 appearances is very, very good. He starts off by striking out Tyler Locklear on the inside fastball. Going to bring up the former Padre Bobby Dahlbeck, who gets a slider down the middle. This one's threatening. Ramos is ranging back. He's at the track, and he just has enough space. It got scary for a second, but it's the second out. Then I bring up Noel V. Marte, the 2024 NL Rookie of the Year, who flies out to Elliott, and Barlow gets the job done. Going to the top of the ninth, where again the Mariners will throw in another pitcher, Ryan Fernandez, as the A's look to get some more insurance runs off of a guy who's allowed quite a few runs this season. Daniel Susac up first, gets underneath the cutter, and he flies out to Luke Raley. Sammy Ciani, 2 for 3 on the day, getting the start in left. And make it 3 for 4. Rips a curveball into the right field corner as this one will roll to the wall. And Sammy Ciani will get into second base with a 1-out double, making the most of his start today. If he keeps hitting like that, he'll have a lot more appearances. Geloff now up next, draws a walk. A fastball just misses up high. Good eye. As the A's have done a pretty good job at laying off of the close stuff. Robbie Martin now 2 for 3, also with a walk today. He's reached base 3 times. He gets a cutter. Hits this one well into left center field, but it will be caught by Raley. Ciani's actually going to try to tag an aggressive move, and it works out as he moves to third. Probably wouldn't have done that with 2 outs, but nonetheless, you got him on the corners now. So a base hit from Noda will surely score him. He hits a fastball well into left, but is caught by Raley. So we'll go into the bottom of the ninth. Tony Santillan in to close the door. The All-Star a year ago has played anything but an All-Star this season. He has Rosario at first, and a quick hand from Santillan will be able to throw him out himself. Quick one down now for J-Rod. He gets a fastball down the middle. He hits it well into right, but just shy of the warning track. Elliott's able to put it away. So now 2 down. The game's on the line. It's Kyle Schwarber up next. He chops this one to Geloff, who will backhand it. He'll throw it to first, and the A's will win this game. Final score is 5-2 in the Athletics. We see them pick up a win. We don't see that very often, but a nice victory here. The bats did pretty good today. The pitching as well. Just a solid performance by the Athletics as they get their 22nd win of the season. Going into the next game on Saturday, though, we do lose 3-2 as Sears went 5 1/3, 2 earned, gets credited for the loss, and Abdi Uribe also gives up an earned run. His struggles continue. Saturday baseball, Yankees-Orioles is the afternoon game. The Orioles crushed the Yankees. Baltimore chasing New York in the AL East, and a performance like this will definitely help. But then it's baseball night in America, and it's a big one. The 2 best teams in all of the league will go at it. Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks pick up the win. These 2 teams trading the top of the NL West, and Arizona's currently got the advantage with a nice victory here. On Sunday, we lose 7-4, so we drop the series to the Mariners, ending the episode at 22-44. 7-4, Micah Bell did not have a good appearance, 5 earned in 5 innings. And we will move on to the next episode, where we'll travel to Colorado to face the worst team in baseball in the Rockies before hosting the Minnesota Twins at home, the best team in the American League. So we'll get a best of both worlds in the next episode, and we'll see if we can continue to play a little bit better as we head into the deeper part of June. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.